Welcome back, family. Earlier today, a list of the world's black billionaires in 2025 was sent to me by my dear sister. And we looked over this list, and there were some names that weren't too familiar, and there were some names that were familiar. And I want to read off a few of them. Some of the names I can't pronounce, but there's a few, and there's a few I don't know. Many are foreigners, but from one, Aliko Dangote, 23.9 billion, right? He's a black man, okay? So we have David Stewart, don't know who that is, 11.4 billion. Robert F. Smith, 10.8 billion. Alexander Karp, 8.4 billion. Now we're gonna skip down to the ones that I know for sure. Number 7 on the list is Michael Jordan, $3.5 billion he's worth. Number 9, Oprah Winfrey, $3 billion she's worth. Number 10, Jay-Z, $2.5 billion of net worth. Number 12, Magic Johnson. I have a friend named Michael Johnson, so that's why. Magic Johnson, number 12, $1.5 billion. Number 15, Tyler Perry, $1.4 billion. Number 16, Tiger Woods, $1.4 billion. Rihanna, $1.4 billion. LeBron James, $1.3 billion. Okay? Sheila Johnson, $1 billion. I think that's, what's his name? Who owned BET, the daughter. Anyway, you mean to tell me with these black billionaires and the other ones I don't know, they could be in oil, they could be in different types of industries, but collectively, could they possibly give back to the black community to build some schools, to maybe even create a social media platform that's not run by other people that keep pushing us in our image as being something subpar? Not only that, but create schools for the youngsters that they can learn tech, because tech is the future. They can learn tech and have platforms that are social media and beyond with different types of software where they can thrive, because our children are brilliant. They just don't have the opportunity. That's not all of them, but most of them are brilliant. Just create the opportunities to seed our future. You have all of this money. Now, there's a rumor or a way of thinking going around that basically says these people are controlled and they can't do anything for the black community, right? I remember back when Oprah Winfrey opened up a school. I forgot what country in Africa here that it was, but she opened up a school and so many people said, wait a second. And I'm not knocking her doing that to help black children no matter where they are in the world, but why couldn't she have done something in Chicago where her show at the time was based to help the children there? It does seem that there's some kind of unwritten rule, some type of oath, that if you get this money from the larger structure, because these folks didn't produce it, they had to get it from something that was already there. But now that they have it, why can't you reinvest it some way? Yet, you have a guy like Umar Johnson who has scammed people for many, many, many years. And the money that he got was sizable, yes, but it's nothing compared to what these black billionaires could have put together officially and didn't have to ask for a dime. They can get the tax breaks, they get the people, the accountants, and set everything up. I mean, I don't think if I had that kind of money, no matter how long it took me to get it, that I would not reinvest it to help us out, because many other races, cultures, they look out for their own first, right? It doesn't mean they hate anybody else, But like I said before, if my lights are out in my home and I get paid and I'm able to pay for my light bill, which shouldn't have went out anyway, why would I go to all the other neighborhoods and go to rich neighborhoods and go everywhere else and pay everybody's light bill when the lights are off in my own home? Does that make sense? No. So why do these individuals who I'm quite sure Magic Johnson as a businessman helps out, and I know people say, well, no, they help out, but en masse to set up infrastructure to produce our scholars for the future and the ones who are going to produce money and go and be independent. Think bigger than that, not just a handful of people. Because I remember even back in the day when Oprah Winfrey was starting to go more mainstream, what was that, late 80s, early 90s maybe? And she would give away cars and on her show and give away all of this stuff, right? And there was none of us there. I'm not saying a car is going to change everybody's life, but it shows the mindset of these people. It's like they get to a certain level, and I'm not going to say they forget where they came from, but why is it that not too many, and there are some who do well and donate, but on that billionaire level, it shouldn't be too hard. If I was a multi-billionaire, I know I can get through the other ones because of who I am if I had that kind of money, and get on the phone and say, hey, let's do this little thing here, right? Let's all of us pitch in $5 million. Let's focus on certain areas that are downtrodden in America that need certain things. Now, you can set up all the schools that you want, but the children are not gonna respond if they're hungry, right? This is why they came after the Black Panther Party so much with the programs that they had. And they wanted to crush that because when you start to think that way, it's not acceptable. And the thing is that with the welfare system, and you couldn't have a man in the home at that time, there's so many reasons why the government went after to destabilize the black family, but yet you have people out here saying there's no racism, that these other people, they're good, and the blame is on you as black people, you're lazy and you don't have any skills. I can't even address that kind of ignorance. There's so much coming at us that we have to focus on that and focus on uplifting ourselves, right? If somebody's throwing stones at you and you're walking down the street, you have to dodge them stones so it doesn't hit you. All the while you have to focus on going where you have to go, right? But us being destabilized, the music turned against us, and the people who run these music companies, they don't look like us. The ones who pull the strings, right? You know, the school to prison pipeline, how they have all of us and they target us in these neighborhoods, just like I knew from back in the day in New York City, that 95% of those who are locked up in the prisons upstate now, maybe it changed, I don't know, I think it's pretty much the same, came from 5 distinct neighborhoods in New York City. So you have the little New York City here, and you have the big New York State, about the size of this phone, twice the size of this phone, and New York City and Long Island just sticks out a little bit. And all of those inmates came from, or 95% of them, came from 5 neighborhoods, which the 5th one on the list may be interchangeable with another one because you had several neighborhoods that were downtrodden. And the police had their aggressive ways of locking you up, and the judicial system showed you no mercy. And then for those who were doing things, they did catch you doing stuff, they got you. So it's modern day slavery, where you're working for pennies every hour. Yeah, what kind of mess is that if you do work when you're in prison? Then it messes you up. They take the young boys who are selling crack, 14, 15 years old, locking them up. You know, they're in there for many years. A lot of them are virgins. You're turning a lot of these guys into homosexuals. They don't have any experience and they have these urges. Most hold out, some don't. Broken families, there's so much to understand. So much to understand. But if we work toward keeping our families together and going against the structured opposition for us to thrive and survive, we'll make it. But we need money. We need the billionaires, even millionaires, whoever, and something that's real, not an emotionally driven scam like with Dr. Umar. And he's always going to have people giving up money to him because he'll touch you a certain way because he's brilliant in his speaking. And he does say a lot of legitimate things. But what's his intentions? What's his heart? So our hearts have to be in the right place with this, not just a matter of collecting money. No, let these black billionaires start this thing off. And then we can follow through because they put their money with it. You see, that's just a thought. I want to know what you think about that, but we're going to have to really help ourselves because there's so many people that don't see what's going on and they want to sit to the side and never have experienced what we've experienced in America and point fingers. We can't pay those folks no mind because we are the most brilliant worldwide. We are trendsetters. We have so much talent and ability, and our talents are only realized when it's given to the system, that the very system that oppresses us. They'll reward a few, but overall, it's hell to catch. Living in America, if you haven't done it and you don't know, go there and live there and find out. Trust and believe, right? Well, you can make it. You have it in your DNA to make it. We've survived so much. And at the end of the day, whether billionaires give money or not, we're going to make it anyway. That's how I feel. So keep pushing on and keep holding on. LanceScurv out. Let me know what you think, all right? Peace.